Okay, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our groundbreaking celebration. My name is Bob Tryanski. I'm the Director of Behavioral Health Projects for Douglas County. And on behalf of the county and Bert Nash and our Behavioral Health Leadership Coalition, we'd like to welcome everybody, including the folks at home. I said that our reasons for celebration keep getting larger and larger, and our home crowd keeps getting smaller and smaller. So we're really glad, if you're on Facebook or on YouTube, that you're joining us today. 2 weeks ago, we had a big celebration to my left to cut the ribbon on the cottages, 10 permanent supportive housing units that will become home for people with a serious mental illness or an addiction issue or a long-term chronic behavioral health struggle that they have. And at that event, Shannon Oury, our housing director, told a story. And the story, I think, really touched a lot of our hearts because it's a good story. It's a fable. It's a fiction story. It's the type of fiction story I've been reading to my daughter as we've been sort of plowing through virtual school over the last couple of weeks. The story's called Stone Soup, and if you weren't here and you weren't joining us, it's a story about a town that's facing a lot of struggles and challenges and limited resources. And a guy from out of town comes into the town, and he wants to try to pull people together, and they all run into their houses because they're afraid of what might happen if you get asked to do something new and something different. And so the man strategically sort of reaches and builds connections with people, and they start coming out, and he asks for a little bit of help, a little bit of something, a little bit of salt and pepper, a little bit of carrots, a little bit of meat. And all of a sudden, the town realizes that they've created something that they didn't imagine before, this wonderful pot of soup, and they all have reason to eat lunch, build relationships with each other. That's a fictional story, and that was the story for that event. I want to tell you a nonfiction story, and my hope would be that on future editions of Stone Soup, the book says, based on a true story. This story happened 3 years ago, and it started with a square table, and on one side of the table sat 3 elected officials, and on the other side of the table sat a person from the Community Mental Health Center, actually 3 people from the Community Mental Health Center, and a person from the Housing Authority, and some people from the county. And they told a story and painted a picture for the 3 elected officials of what might be possible if we thought bigger. Because we knew that building a building to serve people with crisis services was not going to set them up to thrive in the community. And so Jill Jolliker and Matthew Falk, who have really been the heart and the soul of the work that's led to this, along with Shannon, they started painting a picture so that elected officials could understand better how critical housing was to the whole enterprise. And we were talking about, could we make this happen? But we also had a little box in the middle that said you really need 3 tiers of housing. You need respite critical care in a crisis center. You need transitional supportive housing in the middle, and then you need permanent supportive housing. And we were really hoping that we would get the elected officials to say, let's do this piece too. And one of the elected officials, Commissioner Gahn, asked a question that nobody had anticipated. And the question was, what would it take to do all 3 pieces of this? And the people on the other side of the table went, I don't know yet. And the table went from a square table to a round table. And from that point forward, a whole bunch of people came into the process. And they started to use what if and why not thinking. What if we built a campus to support people throughout their life instead of a building for a moment in time? What if we wrapped services around all the people on that campus? What if we found some new ways to work together? What if we, and sometimes people would say, well, wait a minute, what would it take to do that? And how much would that cost? And some of the elected officials started to say, why wouldn't we do that? The CEOs in our Behavioral Health Leadership Coalition said, why wouldn't we want to do that? What would it take to do that? What if? And the what if and the why not thinking is how we got to here today. And we're not just imagining metaphoric fable stories. We have a real story with a set and all kinds of opportunities in front of us. And so we're so glad that you're here, and we're so glad that Commissioner Derusseau and Patrick Schmitz are here to share the vision for this building. And, you know, This campus is going to change lives. This campus is going to save lives. And everybody that's standing here has played an essential, critical part. And all the people out there on Facebook and YouTube have played an essential, critical part by saying, let's do something different, let's do something better, let's work together to make it happen. It's my pleasure to introduce you to Commissioner Michelle Derusseau.
Thank you, everybody, and welcome. Bob is a tough act to follow. Let me tell you what. This is exciting. I mean, just over a year ago on November 8th, we were here for the groundbreaking for this project. It was a great day, kind of like today, but it was really cold and it was really windy. And I was honored to be able to speak that day as we broke ground for this amazing project. And I'm thrilled to be here today. And I hope everybody's as excited as I am, because this is big. This is huge for our community. But this project, as Bob said, started over 3 years ago when Douglas County and its amazing partners in the Behavioral Health Leadership Coalition embarked on a unique collaboration to understand and to address the factors creating significant challenges for our community members with mental illness and substance use disorders. A crucial part of the recovery process is transitional supportive housing. Without a safe and supportive place to live, the cards are stacked against those in recovery. We are here today to celebrate a significant enhancement to our system of care. Transitions will provide for the well-being of some of the most vulnerable community members in a safe and home-like environment, with programs promoting a continuum of care through the recovery process and beyond. Transitions will provide a critical role in what will soon be a full-service campus, serving our community and saving lives. I want to take a moment to thank all of our, well, I can't thank everyone because the list would be too long, but I do want to thank a lot of our dedicated partners, most of which are right here today. But I want everyone that's out there in our virtual space and watching us today to know who these partners are that help make today possible. Shannon Oury, Director of Lawrence Douglas County Housing Authority. From Bert Nash, CEO Patrick Schmitz, Matthew Falk, Marcia Page White, and Stephen O'Neill. Gail Lantis and Chris Nichols from Marland Construction. Chris Cunningham and Walker Douglas from Trainer HL. Douglas County Director of Behavioral Health Projects, Bob Tryanski. Director of Capital Projects, Jay Zimmerseed. Douglas County Assistant County Administrator, Jill Joliker. County Administrator Sarah Plinsky. My fellow county commissioners, Nancy Thelman and Patrick Kelly. Former County Commissioner Mike Gahn and former County Administrator Craig Weinog. And a very special thank you to the Douglas County voters who approved a 1/4-cent sales tax to fund behavioral health projects. Without you, it couldn't have been done. But thank you to everyone, and I'm going to turn it over now to our friend and partner, Bert Nash CEO, Patrick Schmitz.
Thank you, Michelle and Bob, and you are both actually tough acts to follow, so thank you. Thank you all who have come out today, and of course those who are watching us live or will watch us later. You know, for the past 12 months, I've been able to look out my window over there at the community health facility and see really daily the progress that's been made on this campus, the construction of transitions and of course cottages. My predecessor, Dave Johnson, looked out that same office window and could only imagine what he and others saw on what was possible. Others such as Sheriff Kenny McGovern, former County Administrator Craig Weinog, County Commissioners Nancy Thelman and Mike Gahn, and our colleague, of course, Shannon Oury from the Housing Authority, and what they had hoped and dreamed would someday become what is now called the Treatment and Recovery Campus of Douglas County. I want to thank some people in particular, certainly the Douglas County voters for their support of Proposition 1, but also the City of Lawrence voters who supported the sales tax for affordable housing. The City of Lawrence Affordable Housing Advisory Board and the related Housing Trust Fund, the City of Lawrence and Douglas County Commissioners past and present, the Sunderland Foundation, all of our Behavioral Health Coalition partners, many who are here today, and the Bert Nash Center Community Mental Health Center Endowment and Governing Boards, and the many generous supporters who gave money for the purchase of this land as well as money to help construct what's behind me today. Because of them, this dream is now a reality. I also want to thank the teams at Trainer HL Architects and Marland Construction for their role in the planning and construction of this tremendous home behind me. And I want to add a special thank you to Matthew Falk, the Bert Nash Center Supportive Housing Supervisor, and his team for their involvement, input, professionalism, and expertise that they brought to this project. I want to specifically thank the Douglas County staff, a couple that I'm looking out right at now and one behind me. Also, Commissioner Thelman and Commissioner Gahn, because they put pressure on all of us, and we had a vision, and we thought our vision was right. And they said, it's a great vision, but what if? What more is possible? Now, none of us, when we have a vision that we think is right, like it to be pushed against, but they pushed, and they pushed. And it wasn't necessarily a comfortable push, but I am so thankful for Nancy and Sarah and Jill and Bob for pushing us to think differently. And on top of that, they kept a very open mind, so that when we said, well, what about transitional housing? They said, why not? Let's think about this. What can we do to make this a possibility? So thank you for allowing us and pushing us harder and harder. All of us at the Bert Nash Center are so proud to be a part of this much needed facility. Thank you for the Bert Nash Center team who daily show up to provide their life-saving work, and who are proud to have this as another resource in their toolbox as they help people. Because of the work at the Bert Nash Center, we are able to stay true to our mission of responding to needs, restoring lives, and building a healthy community. You know, I've had a lot of opportunity to think back on the Bert Nash Center's 70 years of service to the citizens of Douglas County, and of course the remarkable person for whom we are named, Dr. Bert Nash. Because of Dr. Nash, the work he started, we are here for you, your family, and for all of Douglas County residents. Transitions is aptly named. This supportive housing service will help clients get the help they need on their behavioral health recovery journey and increase their ability to live a self-sustained, community-based life by developing the increased resilience, strength, living in recovery skills, and all with the goal of long-term stability while obtaining and successfully integrating into permanent, affordable, community-based housing. Now, when I look out my office window, I see possibilities fulfilled and dreams realized. I think about persistence and vision, about unique missions and common goals, about partnerships and collaborations, about organizations doing what they do best and coming together to benefit the people of our community. Mostly, I think about all of the lives that will be changed, and I am filled with joy and deep, deep gratitude. Now, let's cut a ribbon.
that's good. Right there's good.